Hi and welcome again. So today we're gonna look at a follow-up video on what does hacking in reality look like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and hack this machine, and this is just a machine that is spun up on TryHackMe, and I'm pretty sure that if I access the IP address in the browser, maybe there is a website. Maybe it just takes a while before it boots up. You know, that is the typical thing with TryHackMe. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. You know, I spun it up like 1 minute and 25 seconds ago, so I might need to give it a time or something. Anyways, let's just go ahead and say, like, we have the IP address of the server and we're gonna hack this. So there are different phases you can go through. You know, the phases suggested in the task here on TryHackMe is something about the box. So this is a brute force hash cracking, privilege escalation, and then connect to the track network and deploy a machine. I did that. Anyways, then we have Reconnaissance. So that's definitely stuff about, like, what is going on, which kind of server is it, getting a shell. You know, it's about getting a connection on the server. And then of course privilege escalation, which is the case where we're gonna try to enhance our own privileges on the server. So let's start with this. Let me just see if there's an actual website now, because if there's there is something going on. So I'm just accessing the IP address in the browser, and what I see is the Apache Ubuntu default page, and yeah, you know. So we are hacking right now, right? I'm trying to show you how hacking looks like. So basically I'm gonna talk you through the process. This video is probably gonna be pretty long, so I hope you're gonna hang with it, and hang with it. I hope you're gonna watch all of it, and and if you have any questions, of course, you just ask below. So this is the web page, and we have no idea what's going on. The reconnaissance questions. This is just some questions, to answer for us, so we have something to do. So basically, what I'm gonna do is to open a few terminals. Let me just close this. I need this terminal, and I'm gonna clear that terminal. It seems like I've been using this for a prior room. So what I'm gonna do is just run a casual Nmap scan on the server's IP address, which is something I'm gonna copy paste now. And by the way, if you don't know what an Nmap is, it is a port enumeration. I'm just gonna say, well, I want all services to enumerate it, and I'm not doing any indication of how many ports I'm gonna scan. So it's scanning for the 1,000 most used ports. I'm running the scan now, and basically I'm just waiting a bit. Normally, when I'm accessing a web page through the IP address in the browser, I would scan a folder dictionary file enumeration service, a program called GoBuster, to further get me to the admin page as fast as possible, so I could try and brute force my access through, or do something even more sneaky, depending on what I find. Of course, it's very difficult to say. So the process is done. I ran the Nmap scan, and we got it back, and it asked the server. We have 2 ports open. It is 22 and 8080, and basically that's it. Alright, so it doesn't seem that there is any particular normal standard port open running another web service. However, I wouldn't really know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a full port scan. Every port, all 65,535 different ports that can be open on a machine. This is going to take a while, but we can answer the first question, which is 2. The question is like, how many ports are open? 2. Submit the answer. Now, whenever you are hacking a machine, you will need to enumerate it, and enumeration is also what I guess you can call reconnaissance. So there are two types of reconnaissance: the active one and the passive one. We're doing active right now. We are scanning the server. We're pounding our necks towards it, like, I am here, you are there, you know me now, because I'm just asking it a lot of questions. All right. So if you're doing like passive reconnaissance, it's more like going to Google or looking at something someone else, gather information for you. But you're not doing anything active to the server. Passive reconnaissance also considers that you visit the website like I do this and use it normally, because if you're using the page normally, it's not going to trigger any alarms or detection services on that server. Now let's just see what the server came back with. We scanned all the ports and it only found 2 open. So I'm gonna stick to the idea there's only 2 open ports in the server for now. And since we have a web page in port 80 and have no other ports, I think it's a really good idea to start enumerating for different kind of folders. So I'm gonna go to the other page, say GoBuster directory. This is the host, and I'm gonna find the user share word list, dear Buster, directory 2.3 medium list. So I'm gonna start enumerating whatever, and already just like that we got a /admin, and I would say in most occasions I would have tried that anyways, but we got the /admin, and we can basically go to the page like /admin, and then we have a user face login. What I usually do here is just a right click and show page source, and then we're going to look at whatever's in here, and it looks pretty standard. We have no indication of which kind of language the backend is created of, and it says, hey John, if you do not remember, the username is admin. Alright, so we have 2 suspects here. We got a username called admin and a other username called John. So let's go to a text editor and just basically say that we have usernames, we have John and admin, and we still need the passwords. Anyways, this is some information we just got, so I wrote it down. You can also look at the style sheet. Sometimes, people, they do put things into it. No idea what they put in it, but I have seen stuff. And when you just click the page, it's like, yeah, and you just try admin and password, no, admin, no, admin 1 2 3, and admin 1 2 3 4 5 6, and also gonna try something like admin password 1 2 3, and it doesn't really work. So it seems that they probably have a normal password. I have no idea, but it's just a guess. So the scan so far is 11% done, it seems, and we only have /admin. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to the actual questions on TryHackMe, which is gonna be which version of SSH is running. Alright, so we need to go back to Nmap Scan and look at the version of SSH. Is OpenSSH version 7.6.1. Alright, so I'm gonna paste that in right here. And of course, this is just solving the room as we go. What version of Apache? Let's just paste it in. Why not? It's not that important. How much did they want again? It's like, they want just the version. Alright then, alright. So I'm gonna take the version, copy this, go back, paste that, and say, yeah. Of course, this is like a gamification thing on TryHackMe. So it kind of makes a game to put in the answers, and then, you're running something. So, but this is also your documentation for different kind of things you're finding on the server. I'm doing it in the important stuff I'm interested in is saved in the text file. What Linux distribution is running? Alright, so I'm pretty sure that we can go ahead and say Ubuntu is probably the worst. So write that and paste my answer. And search for the hidden, it is /admin, we already found that. So just a few things we can add to all the questions in the actual room on TryHackMe. So the next thing to do is just to say, alright, then let's take this one step at a time. Normally, doing reconnaissance, is it enough just doing, I would like to say, I think we found what we needed to find. It's the admin folder. I think we scanned enough. What more would I usually do on a web page? Well, it's very hard to say what would I do on a standard Ubuntu default page. Nothing. But, well, I guess sometimes, in a very rare occasion, some system administrator found it funny to put some sensitive information on the standard page. but I highly do not think this is the actual moment of time when that's done. So what I'm going to do now is go back to the browser and say, well, I think we should try and get a shell. And getting a shell right now is not really possible because we need to, first of all, it seems we need to get access to the admin page. And it would like to say that we need to find the admin page. We could press hints. It doesn't work on this browser, it would seem, because JavaScript is a big issue. So there's a really good chance that we could just try and hack it using Hydra or something like that, and then brute force our way through it to it. And it does also say brute forcing, so I would like to suggest that we're gonna use Hydra as the software needed to further brute force us the way in. So whenever we talk about brute force that is highly active and you're really like pounding the door down on the server, everyone should basically know that you're doing something. Of course, some servers and administrators, they don't know nothing, right? They don't know nothing. So it's so yeah, we're gonna use Hydra, and basically we're gonna use the let's just use this window. So Hydra is the tool we're gonna use, and what we're gonna do basically is do a HTTP Hydra brute force attempt. So we need to find out some things about this web page before we continue. So we kind of need to find out, and we're gonna right click the page, that whenever using Hydra, it needs to know which input fields do we need to brute force our way through. So we kind of think the username is admin, so we don't need to brute force the way through the user, but it's the password. The name is pass, so that is the name of the attribute giving the name pass to the input field password. So that would be this one here. So this is going to be filled out with admin, and what Hydra is going to do is just to also fill out what is inside this thing. This is the password, is that the password, is that the password, and so on, but just a lot quicker. So let's go ahead and use Hydra. So I'm gonna write Hydra L, and the password is admin, so -L for the username, and then I'm gonna do like -P for password list. I'm gonna use user share word list, and I'm going to use RockU because that is a very common word list to use. A word list is basically just a lot of words, one-liners, like one line, one password, and then you just try all of them. It is not meant for username enumeration or guessing usernames. It is meant for guessing brute forcing passwords. Alright, the server is gonna be, gonna remember that IP address. So let's take it from the website. That's my weak point. Let's copy paste correct it this time. You see, should know, should think that I should be a master of copy pasting, but I am really not. Alright, so that's the IP address. It's beautiful. Yeah, and then we need to say HTTP post form, because we are doing a HTTP protocol post form brute forcing, and that is gonna be done on /admin. As the very first, let's just see. Yeah, can I remove this? And now comes the question: is it /admin/? Is it admin/? Is it /admin, or is it admin whatever? So sometimes it can be a little like a guessing game. But I think in this occasion we can write a / right there, and colon, it's gonna be the username. I think is it called username? It's called user. So we're gonna write user equal admin, and password pass is equal to, and then inside of this we're gonna put the word pass. I'm gonna explain this just in a while, and then we're gonna need to find out what is the actual failure word. Invalid is the word. Let's just use this as a catch. So invalid, and I guess that's gonna do it. Alright, so what really happened behind the scenes here is that Hydra is a program taking the first parameters admin, P the password list we're gonna use, and for each line of password we have, for each password, we're gonna replace that inside of here. The capitalized letters pass is some let's call it a token that Hydra knows to replace each line in with an actual password guess from the list rockU.txt. That is the server IP address. This is the type of it. This is the path of it. Let me just check if everything is correct. I think everything is correct. So only thing kind of just missing now to press enter and see what happens. And sometimes you get something wrong and you can just redo it again. And now it says blah blah blah. Yes, max 16 tasks per server. And it kind of already found the password, which is Xavier, it would seem. Isn't that the X-Men name or something? So I'm gonna go to the login page and just paste it in and see if that is true. And that is true. We got Xavier as the password, and the username was admin. So it's admin Xavier. I'm gonna paste that. And crack the RSA key. We found what is John's RSA private key passphrase. So now we're gonna crack a RSA key. Alright, so on this web page, is very unlikely. However, I would like to say we just got the RSA key, and the private key basically means that whoever got the private key can log on to the site, and there's also encrypted into that private key a passphrase, something you can write whenever you're logging into the server, and that is what we're gonna crack. We also have a flag down here in the bottom, which is common used in TryHackMe to prove we have access to a certain place. Let me just the web flag, gonna paste that in. It seems like that would be the correct place. So what we need to do now is user flag. Yeah, it would seem that to get this flag, use the text flag, we need to get access to the system using SSH. But before we can do that, we need to crack the RSA key. So what we need to do now is definitely not to close the browser. We're gonna click this called ID RSA, new page. And we have all of it right here. So basically I'm gonna take this here, and we don't copy paste, we do it here. Gonna make a folder. I'm gonna call it what is the name of this room? Brood it. Alright then. Brood it. Just gonna seed into that. I'm gonna wget that URL address, and now we have the ID RSA file with the exact content, and now we need to crack the password of that. Because if we were to SSH into the machine, I think it's -I, and I'm pretty confident that if I just do this, if I can copy paste at all today, like this, and you say yes, I would like to fingerprint, we are being prompted to give a password. So and since we don't have it, I can just damn it. All right, so and we can just try again. It's like, yeah, we don't have it. So we need to crack it, and in order to crack the password on the RSA file, we probably need to use a program called I think it's called John, to be honest. All right, so John is the John the Ripper, the name. Yeah, it totally confused me because we also have a John name here. So anyways, I was just thinking we need to convert the RSA key to some special format before we can feed it further to John the Ripper program. John the Ripper is just a program that can brute force the password of an ID, the RSA key. But before I can do that, I need to convert it to something like SSH to John, I think. Isn't that the SSH to John? I don't have it. Alright then. Yeah, this is the correct to John. Okay, so I do have it. It's just on. It's just not installed as a. I need to add it to my path variable one day. Anyways, this is the program SSH to John, and the syntax is basically just you gotta type in the RSA key, give it a name. So I'm gonna call it rsa.hash, for example, and now it's converting it to the hash. And if we just output this, it looks kind of different, but now it's a hashed value instead of the raw normal ID RSA key. It's difficult to say that for me, I guess it seems. So now we need to use a program called John, and basically, let me see, John, do we have that? It would be really weird. I didn't have that on my Linux machine, so I'm also learning how to install John, it seems. It seems this is probably, let's just see if I what is that? It's not what I look for. Alright, I need to go back to broot it and locate John, grep if I see something called USR. I need to mind the folders that start with USR. Let's see, I think I thought something different. Yeah, it's gonna be this particular one, so user sbin. It could be that that would be the program you're looking for. Yeah, it is. So it's called John the Ripper. Yeah, mine, I should really just add mine to the path variable. You know how it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say word lists is equal to user share word list. Is it word lists or lists? I don't remember now. Let me just see. User share word lists, and inside of that should have, yes, rock you. I need that one. Where was it again? Whenever you need something, you cannot find it. It's very normal. Yeah, it is just there. So I'm gonna type /rock_you.text, and the further syntax is then the ID rsa.hash, and I think that's gonna be it, and I'm gonna run it. So it's trying now to not find. I forgot the S that I just verified. So with lists, thank you. And now it's trying to, I guess now, trying to brute force the password, and it kind of said that the password should be rocking roll. Okay. Let's assume that, did I have the, oh, I think that I used this one. Let me just quickly, yeah, I did. So we're gonna rock and roll. Rocking roll. Sometimes you need to type it. if it's right or wrong. And it would seem that it did not find the correct password for. Let me just try one more time if I didn't make any. Any. No. Okay, so let's see what I have. Alright then. So yeah, I could use John to show the ID RSA. And then we're going back to the same again. The John -- show. I think I forgot to do that. The ID dot hash. And it does tell me that it is rocking roll. If I run this again, will it actually find the same? Sometimes you just need to verify a few times, and it does say that rocking roll is the same. Let me just go to TryHack Me. So rocking roll, it is the correct password. So now we need to SSH into the user. Let me just see if we can do that in a very smart. So yeah, I think we should change the access rights to the ID RSA, so it's 600 now, which basically made it read-writable. And then we need to do SSH-I. What I did before was this, and what I also need to do now is, since it's John I'm logging in with, I'm gonna supply that as a username, and then it's time again to copy paste. Let's see if I can get it right this time. And yes, rock in roll. Oh, we're in. Alright, so I just did something wrong before. I cracked it. I should just log in. So now we are in ls cat user.text, and we have the flag. The password is not a barrier. So I'm gonna copy that, paste it in, and submit the answer. So now we kind of escalated into this. Just took a small break. Alright, so now that we have a shell and we're logged in on the box, we can go ahead and note that John's password is not that one, rocking roll. And what we kind of need now is to do something called privilege escalation, and it basically find a form to escalate your privileges, what is the root password, and then output whatever flag is inside root.txt. This is just a proof of concept that we are in the system. So now that we are in the system, we're just gonna clear type sudo.l. It's a very good way to just see what kind of super admin things we can do. And there is just something with cat, the cat file that we can execute, which is executable with the rights of your root. So there's a web page called GTFO bins. We're gonna go and visit GTFO bin, and to this side we can write cat, because cat is something we're going to use. The different ways: file read, suid, super user ID, and the sudo. Let's click cat, and what it kind of tells us to do is that we can do something like this. If the binary is allowed to run a super user by sudo, it does not drop the elevated privileges and may be used to access the file system, escalate, or maintain privilege access. So what we're gonna do is to try and use this file, program it is cat, to gain system administrator right. With the sudo, and I would like to explain this a little bit. Cat is a command that outputs content to the screen. It directly is not that interesting, but it kind of tells us that we can write this in the command prompt and then basically run the file and then run the program cat and get the content out. what file could be interesting to look at if we're gonna read something? Okay, so on Linux systems, we usually can do like the etc password file, and we can get to know that there's of course a root user, but we see no password. The password is saved in a shadow file, and the shadow file is also located in almost the same place. It is located in the same place. So what we can do is call lfile equal to etc shadow, I think it is, and then the sudo cat lfile as a variable, and now we are outputting all the data from the shadow file. And the shadow file is the file that contains all the data for and passwords for all the users on the system. Now, what I would kind of like to do is just to output this in a file where I am, so I have it. So you can write passwords, did that, and now I have something called passwords. I'm gonna nano into this, and everything just below. I'm gonna remove all this. The only thing I'm interested in is the actual password of root, and I have that right here. It's hashed, so I'm gonna save this, and what I'm gonna do is to verify if I have access to John on this machine. It would seem that I did. So what about user share? We also have a word list. No. Well, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so it would seem that I do not have a word list. However, it is not a problem, because what I could do is just cat the password file and copy. If I can copy paste correctly, go back to my machine, because it doesn't really matter. Root it, and then nano password, and insert the password there, and then we're gonna use, I'm gonna clear the screen, ls is called John again. No, we're gonna need this. Okay, so that is the wrong window. The right window is obviously that one. So was it user locate John? That is very bugging. I should really put this to my path variable, but you know, cannot do that right now. Yeah, so I have John, and it's called word list equal to user share word lists rock you the text, and it's gonna be the password file, and I think that would be it. I'm not 100% sure. Alright, it is. So the password for the root user is football. So root is football. So we're gonna go to the web page and just quickly see football. Now we need to get the flag. So I guess we can just do sudo root football. Let's type it then. Su root password. Sorry, not sudo, su. And I have root access, and I can go to root ls cat root and get the flag, and now we basically own the server and put in the flag, and that's about it, you know. And yeah, I know I completed a room on a web page as a gamification, but this is just to showcase another way you could think about how you escalate privileges, how you hack a machine. This is how it kind of looks like. This was a very active room with lots of brute forcing and guessing, and yeah, it's in reality, I guess most hacks always start from some sort of, can I social engineer my way in? Can I send a phishing email? That is the most common way to get information you need. Because guessing a password, the word football is just easy. Of course, these rooms on Try Hack Me is not made for something that should take years to crack or anything, because no one has that amount of time. It is just to showcase how easy it is to brute force passwords and different methods you can use whenever you're gonna penetration test the system. And I basically just did a penetration test, and I ended up with a root shell. And now I have a root shell. I can do anything I would like to do. So who am I? ID. I'm root, and you see it here, also in the root group. So I basically own the server. So this is just another way of me showing you how does a hack actually look like. This is one of many possible ways it could look like. It could be so many things. It could also be me coding for like a month or two before I actually do something, which could be a one-liner of code just to get some access to the server. So I really hope you do like my videos and you like what I do, and if you do so, please consider subscribing to my channel, like my video, watch some other videos, ask some questions. I'm gonna get back to you. So thank you for watching my video. Until next time, bye.